Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle video tutorial on Illustrator and how to create a dot design from a raster image. So something like this. This is obviously a street in London that not normally lots of dots, but I'm just going to remove all that and you can see the original design. So there's the original design. Now you can see the document when you go up to Object Menu and then Object Mosaic, and it's all going to start from there. So Object Mosaic. And you'll notice here it's got the size. This is the size of the actual document here. And it's by obviously 2,500 odd, 1,500. Now, for the number of tiles, because I want them to be square, I'm going to go for, obviously you can see 25, I'm just going to go for 50. Obviously it's not matching that, but that's the number of tiles. And also 14, so I multiply by 2, so it's 28. So if you've got an image that's 1,000 by 1,000, obviously just, that's much easier to work, it's going to be square. But obviously when it's a rectangle, you have to do a little bit of calculation to get it into squares. Obviously very approximate. Then what I'm doing, I'm just using width there, doesn't particularly matter. And I'm going with colour. I'm going to delete the raster image. I'm going to have no spacing. You can have spacing if you want. Click OK. So once you've done that, now another option you could probably use the use ratio as well. However, you've got this design here. What you can then do is you can ungroup it. So object and ungroup. And then what you can do, you can go to object menu and transform each. And you can see what happens. Now I've got a little bit of scaling there. You could make it smaller. So you can make it like 92, so they all slightly shrink a bit. But the key thing here is random. So all are random. And also you can add a bit of angle there. But it doesn't particularly matter because at the end of the day, I'm going to turn them into circles in a sec. So that's sort of going to be a bit lost, but you can still have that obviously set. And you can modify the move, you can make it sort of spread out more or go that way, and so on. So just give some sort of make it all like that. Now what you can then do is you can click OK. So you've got your design. Now you could finish at this point, perfectly reasonable. What you can then do is go to the direct selection tool, and you'll notice as soon as you do that, you've got corners up here, and you click there, and there's a variety of different corners. Well, what I want to do is enter a value here though. I'm going to go with 70. Set it to as large as you want. You can set it to 150, 200. It will decide based on what it can do and the maximum one for all these ones. So if you can't do it, then it will just let you know. Well, it doesn't let you know, it just doesn't do it. So there, I've just done it. And you can see now I've turned them near enough. They're not brilliant as a circle, but they're close to circles. So you've got your design there. So you've got all those lovely circles there. Let's just keep that in the thing. Now, I can group that again. I don't have to, but I'm just going to make it. It makes it easier to move them around. So they're just all grouped again. So that's Object Menu. Object Menu plays a big part in this. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to add a background. So I'm just going to add a background there, and I can do that quickly, white, and I'm just going to arrange send to back. Now I don't want white, I want to have it, I go with, it doesn't really matter what colour, but I'm just going to go with some colour, green, garish green. So you can see I've got garish green. Now select that, what you can do, you can go to edit, and you can edit colours and recolour artwork. You could use that as well if you want, but recolour artwork. Now it might take us a few seconds to process. It's sometimes not instantaneous because there's a lot of dots there, but it will come up with that. And you can go up to Colour Library. And what you can do, you've got here Art History. And if you want a sort of impressionist, it's got actually an impressionism. Though I must admit, I'm not certain how they decide because not all impressionism pictures are this colour. But anyway, that's obviously what they've decided. So they've all now been, according to that library, turned into an impressionist colour. What you can also do, you can apply effects. Now, again, this might be a bit slow. When I tested it, it was quite quick, but when you're doing a tutorial as well, recording it, sometimes it's a bit slower. So what you can do, you just go to Effect, and you can go down to Style. You obviously could use some of the other ones, but drop shadow. Now, I'm not going to use Scribble. That would probably kill it. But you could say maybe set that to 12. And you can see then you get this lovely, maybe the blur, make it 10. And obviously it's a lot more processing power to do all this sort of stuff, but it's done. And of course you can always change the colour of this. So maybe you don't want that garish green, maybe go for a darker colour, and so on. Obviously you lose the blur then and the shadow, but you can always change it maybe to another colour, go for blue, and so on. So you can see the design you get. And that's still the street in London. Obviously it doesn't look particularly much like the street in London. It's going down, I think it was Victoria Street, I think, in London. So there it is, lovely dots. And of course you can apply other effects and things. And of course you could, if you want to, maybe transfer this over via window and libraries, put it over into library, and then put it into Photoshop, and then maybe apply layer effects. So you can create a whole range of additional sort of dots, maybe give a bit of a sort of bevel to all the designs. Now, and there's of course other effects within here. And of course you could, if you want to, you can always go down to, I'm not going to use that one, but maybe go for some of these ones, roughen, etc., twist, zigzag, and so on, so to apply some additional sort of modification to those designs. Well, I hope you found this tutorial of interest. Always adding new tutorials all the time. So Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, Illustrator, Photoshop, etc. Also, please subscribe to the Graphic Extras channel. So virtually every day I put some new videos on, so always that'd be great. Also, if you've got any comments, please put them into the comment section, and anything you didn't like particularly or I didn't explain well, please let me know. There's been a couple of, well, there's another video I did earlier, so you could maybe watch that as well if you want to follow that approach, but that was more for rectangles and things, not for this sort of like Seurat design, I guess. Not really particularly, but it's sort of that approach. Then also a dislike or like, always appreciated. Thank you much.